Balenciaga is under fire for its recent ad campaign with children.
How did it feel when you saw the ad campaign for the first time?
Honestly, I was in complete shock.
I thought it was absolutely disgusting.
All the ads had to go through dozens of people, and somehow they end up with all of this.
They should definitely receive harsh criticism for their ads, absolutely.
As soon as I saw what everyone was seeing on the internet and the reality of the situation, I completely denounced it.
Balenciaga, a name synonymous with high fashion, luxury and exclusivity. But what happens when a brand that reached the pinnacle of fashion falls from grace? Today we're deep diving into the story of how Balenciaga went from a luxury juggernaut to facing controversy, plummeting sales and a shift in customer loyalty. From bold, boundary-pushing designs to some of the most shocking scandals in fashion history, Balenciaga's journey has been anything but conventional. Let's break down the rise, the fall and the shifting tides of one of fashion's most iconic houses. It all started in 1917 with Cristobal Balenciaga, a Spanish-born designer who revolutionized the world of fashion. Known for his avant-garde approach, Balenciaga's designs were praised for their structured, sculptural shapes. His vision was radically different from the fashion norms of his time. He was often ahead of the curve. Throughout the mid-20th century, Balenciaga grew in prominence, dressing royals, celebrities and dignitaries. His craftsmanship was unmatched, with Vogue calling him the master of all, and by the 1950s and 60s, Balenciaga had cemented itself as one of the most prestigious luxury brands in the world. Fast forward to the 21st century, under the direction of Demna Gvasalia, Balenciaga was reborn.
In Demna, they had found a designer that promised to merge past and present to create something that resonated with fans of luxury fashion and streetwear alike.
Taking the fashion world by storm with its edgy, streetwear-inspired designs, the brand's embrace of deconstructed, oversized silhouettes and bold logo use was a hit with younger, more trend-conscious consumers. Sales skyrocketed, reaching over 1.7 billion in 2021. But with success sometimes comes controversy. Balenciaga's fame wasn't just built on its designs, it became notorious for its involvement in multiple scandals that would dramatically alter the brand's reputation. One of the first major controversies was in the early 2020s when Balenciaga released a pair of destroyed sneakers priced at over $1,000. These were intentionally designed to look worn out with scuff marks and dirt, an aesthetic choice that many considered a mockery of luxury. However, others felt it was romanticizing the poor and homelessness.
But where does this leave the underprivileged? I'm talking about people who are forced to wear shoes like that until they're completely destroyed because they simply cannot afford new ones. Because the money made from selling these shoes aren't exactly going into helping the underprivileged. So is he just making a statement at the expense of the poor?
There were some people calling out Demna for his tastelessness. Some critics said it was a tasteless, tone-deaf move, whilst others saw it as a bold, rebellious statement.
The Salvation Army had something to say after Balenciaga released their $2,000 destroyed Paris sneakers. But unlike Balenciaga, these sneakers were actually worn for years at a time by those without a home to call their own. The Salvation Army aims to raise awareness for poverty inequality, and the funds from each purchase go directly to helping those in need.
And this was not the only time that Demna's Balenciaga split opinions whilst making use of cultural references. The release of items like the Barb's East-West shopper bag, the Bazaar bag, and the Arena extra large shopping tote had the internet questioning what the real inspiration and intention of Balenciaga was. In their original non-luxury form, these items were staples in the households of many oppressed and overlooked communities. And somehow Demna was inspired to repackage them and sell them for up to $2,100. Many eyebrows were raised, including my own. But that was just the beginning. In 2022, Balenciaga found itself at the center of a darker storm, an advertising campaign that featured children holding teddy bears dressed in bondage-style harnesses.
So Balenciaga is known for its edgy designs, the brand often pushing the envelope, but critics are accusing the brand now of crossing the line in this latest campaign.
These teddy bear-inspired accessories look like soft toys but appeared to be wearing leather harnesses and other items associated with bondage fetishes. Critics also identified a second image from an earlier separate campaign promoting the brand's collaboration with Adidas. One of the pictures showed a handbag sitting on top of some documents, and when people zoomed in on the text, it revealed the papers were from a US Supreme Court ruling related to indecent images of children.
That's what she said. And you know what? What was that?
It's disgusting. It's disturbing.
The backlash was swift and severe, with some media outlets accusing the fashion house of endorsing child indecency. Celebrities and influencers distanced themselves, and social media exploded with criticism.
This might look like a normal photo, but if you zoom in on the documents, you'll see that those are papers detailing a U.S. Supreme Court case about virtual child porn. And it looks like they got called out on this, deleted all of their Instagram photos, and started reposting this morning. Outside of sexualizing children, I can't see what other goal they could have possibly had with this ad campaign.
This is not something I truly think that can be forgivable, in my opinion. It's just not. So I do not recommend supporting them.
The damage to Balenciaga's reputation was immediate. Balenciaga swiftly pulled the campaign and posted an apology to its 14 million Instagram followers and said its plush bear bags should not have been featured with children. The photographer Gabrielle Galimberti for the campaign also released a statement, and the company said it was carrying out an investigation and strengthening checks and controls around its creative process. But the damage had been done. This scandal led to calls for boycotts and deepened public distrust. But how much did this impact the brand? In the wake of the scandals, Balenciaga's sales took a hit. According to Kering Group's 2022 report, Balenciaga's revenue growth slowed significantly compared to previous years. While the brand still remained a force in the fashion world, customer behavior was shifting, and in the years that have followed, Balenciaga has become somewhat of a staple on sales racks. There are many consumers that are reluctant to engage with the Balenciaga brand, and in my experience from shopping and walking past Balenciaga stores, they definitely do seem to be quieter than they used to be. Consumer behavior has also begun to shift. The allure of exclusivity has begun to wane on consumers, particularly younger buyers who have become more skeptical. It seems to be getting harder and harder for many younger consumers to separate brand reputation from the product itself, which is something that we have also seen happen with brands like Yeezy. Consumers are no longer interested in just buying into the craftsmanship. Now more than ever, they are buying into the brand story, and unfortunately for Balenciaga, their story has become increasingly difficult to sell. But it wasn't just about the scandals. The world of luxury fashion was changing. Social media and the rise of the influencer culture has meant that luxury isn't just about owning the product, it's about the image that comes with it. The younger generation, especially Gen Z, have begun to shift towards more socially conscious and transparent brands. They want the authenticity, and many saw Balenciaga's move as tone deaf and exploitative. The brand's over-resilience on shock value began to backfire as consumers sought brands with more positive, inclusive messages. Balenciaga's customer base, which had once been full of loyal, high net worth buyers, started to fragment. Wealthier consumers continued to support the brand, but younger, socially conscious buyers pulled back, causing a shift in the market. So where does Balenciaga go from here? The brand has since tried to repair its image with more conservative collections and a focus on sustainability. They've made moves to engage with younger buyers, launching collaborations with influencers and expanding into more eco-conscious fashion lines. However, Balenciaga's path to recovery won't be easy. Their future depends on how effectively they can build trust and navigate the fine line between edgy innovation and the risk of alienating their core audience. Can they strike a balance, or will they continue to lose their place as a go-to luxury brand? The story of Balenciaga is a stark reminder that even the biggest names in fashion aren't immune to controversy. From high fashion icon to scandal magnate, their tale is a testament to how volatile consumer trust can be in today's world. And in some ways, I think they took for granted the trust of their consumers and definitely went too far with this scandal. Only time will tell if the brand can reclaim its former glory, or if they even deserve to. The downfall of Balenciaga may just be the beginning of a larger trend in the fashion industry. What do you think? Can Balenciaga make a comeback, or is this the end of the road for the iconic brand?